So-hee slaps Park Seo Joon at Afterparty. He leaves without a word. Soul. The glittering lights of the Midnight Mirage film premiere Afterparty dimmed abruptly last night when K-drama queen Han So-hee delivered an unexpected slap to fellow A-lister Park Seo Joon, in front of dozens of stunned guests. What followed was a cascade of chaos, whispers, and wild speculation that has since consumed social media like wildfire. The Midnight Mirage premiere was one of the most anticipated events of the summer. Set in the breathtakingly lavish Rosewood Seoul Ballroom, the event attracted Korea's elite producers, models, idols, and of course the stars of the moment. Han So-hee, radiant in a floor-length custom Elie black lace gown with sapphire sequins, was the undeniable belle of the night. Park Seo Joon arrived just minutes later, exuding understated charisma in a tailored Tom Ford tuxedo. Cameras flashed as the two posed for photos, but insiders say there was tension simmering beneath the polished smiles. They were cordial on the red carpet, but they didn't exchange a single word, one stylist revealed. That was already strange. The slap heard around Seoul. At approximately 11:47 p.m., in the heart of the candlelit ballroom, the unthinkable happened. According to multiple eyewitnesses, Han So-hee and Park Seo Joon were seen in a quiet, intense conversation near the VIP champagne bar. Music pulsed softly, and guests were just beginning to settle into the ambience. Then a swift motion, a sharp sound, and collective gasps. Han So-hee slapped Park Seo Joon with such force that his face visibly turned. The room fell silent. A stunned silence hung heavy as everyone froze. Even the DJ paused the track mid-beat. Seo Joon, eyes widened, touched his cheek but said nothing. Without a word, he turned, walked through the crowd, and exited the ballroom. He didn't even glance back, one guest whispered. It was like something out of a movie. #security footage. A scene too real for cinema. Shortly after the incident, leaked security footage, allegedly from a hotel employee, began circulating on TikTok and Twitter, now known as X, showing a distant but unmistakable slap. The audio was muted, but lip readers and fan forums quickly went into overdrive analyzing the clip frame by frame. A particularly viral slowed-down edit titled, "The Slap Scene, Director's Cut," has amassed over 20 million views in less than 12 hours. What sparked the explosion? Sources close to both stars have remained tight-lipped, but several insiders have painted a dramatic web of tension behind the scenes of Midnight Mirage, the steamy noir thriller that paired Han So-hee and Park Seo Joon for the first time. #1. Creative clashes on set. According to a crew member who worked on the film, their chemistry on screen was undeniable, but off-screen, combustible, they said. They had different methods. She's emotional, instinctual. He's calculated, reserved. They clashed almost every week. #2. Romance turned sour. Another rumor that has gained traction is that the two were romantically involved during the first half of filming. One production assistant confirmed they were often seen leaving the set together late at night, sometimes hand in hand. But in March something changed. She unfollowed him on Instagram, an eagle-eyed fan account pointed out. That's when the ice set in. #an eyewitness account. We spoke exclusively with a makeup artist who was standing just meters away from the dramatic encounter. They were speaking quietly, but her expression kept changing. She looked hurt, then angry. He looked cold, like emotionally checked out. Then suddenly she said something I couldn't hear, and just whack. It echoed. She didn't cry. She just stood there breathing hard. Then she grabbed her clutch and walked straight to the balcony, like she needed air. Everyone was too shocked to move. The internet reacts. Team So-hee versus Team Seo Joon. Within minutes, hashtags began trending globally. *Han So-hee. #Park Seo Joon. #Midnight Meltdown and #The Slap. Fans on Han So-hee's side. If So-hee slapped him, he deserved it. Asterisk, she doesn't strike without reason. Something big must have gone down. Asterisk, she's a queen. She handled it in public. Imagine what he did in private. Hashtag fans on Park Seo Joon's side. Asterisk, he walked away like a gentleman. Didn't retaliate. Asterisk, we need both sides of the story before judging. Asterisk, I've never seen Park Seo Joon disrespect anyone. Ever. Hashtag the mysterious note. An anonymous Reddit post from someone claiming to be close to the situation offered an unverified, but deeply intriguing detail. He told her she was just a marketing tactic, and the relationship was never real. She found out he was dating someone else during the press tour. That slap was her goodbye. Though unverifiable, the theory quickly gained traction online, spawning threads titled, Park Seo Joon, Master Manipulator. And was it all just promo? Hashtag statements from their agencies. As of this writing, both actors' agencies have released brief statements. Asterisk Han So-hee's agency. 9 Auto Entertainment asterisk. We are aware of the incident at the after-party. Ms. Han is currently taking time to herself. No further comments at this time. Asterisk Park Seo Joon's agency. Awesome in asterisk. Mr. Park has returned home safely. We appreciate fans' concern and ask for understanding as we handle this matter privately. Neither confirmed nor denied the slap. Hashtag the deeper layer. A tale of stardom's price? Some commentators have begun analyzing the moment through the lens of celebrity burnout, artistic pressure, and gender politics in the Korean entertainment industry. Cultural critic Lee Min-ji wrote in an op-ed, Han So-hee's slap wasn't just personal, it was symbolic. A defiant moment in an industry where women are often silenced behind the scenes. Hashtag Midnight Mirage. Now more hype than ever? In a strange twist, ticket pre-sales for Midnight Mirage have doubled overnight. Industry insiders predict the scandal may turn the noir film into a box office phenomenon. Whether intentional or not, this is the best marketing campaign of the year, one distributor admitted. Hashtag what happens next. As Seoul wakes up from this cinematic fever dream, everyone is wondering. Asterisk will Han So-hee speak out? Asterisk will Park Seo Joon break his silence? Asterisk will they still promote the film together? Asterisk and most of all, what really happened? Hashtag epilogue. A whisper in the rain. At 3:12 a.m., just hours after the slap, a photo surfaced on Weverse. Han So-hee, standing alone in the rain outside the venue, smoking a cigarette, mascara slightly smudged, lips set in a firm line. Fans dubbed it, the poster of power. And then came the caption. Cryptic, chilling, and utterly unforgettable. You don't get to ghost the storm you created. She didn't tag anyone. She didn't need to. Asterisk one thing's for certain asterisk in a world where so much is curated and controlled, Han So-hee reminded everyone that raw emotion, unfiltered, unscripted, still shocks, still captivates, and still breaks the internet. And Park Seo Joon. He walked away. But the story is far from over. Let me know if you want a follow-up piece, social media breakdown, or this adapted into a screenplay or short film format. Hashtag inside the slap. What really happened between Han So-hee and Park Seo Joon? Continuation from Starscope Daily's breaking coverage of the Midnight Mirage after-party incident. The glitz, the champagne, the flashbulbs. What was meant to be a crowning night for Korean cinema's two brightest stars turned into something far more visceral and unforgettable. We return to the exact moment when Han So-hee's hand met Park Seo Joon's cheek in what may be the most shocking celebrity moment of the decade. Let's go deeper. Let's walk you through what witnesses say felt like a slow-motion implosion, where personal betrayal collided with public spectacle. Hashtag a room on edge. The Rosewood Seoul Ballroom, dressed in soft gold light and custom-draped velvet, held just under 200 guests, exclusive enough to feel like a secret society, yet large enough to make any misstep instantly viral. People weren't just watching the stars. They were studying them. Everyone could feel it, one event planner whispered to us. They were circling each other all night. Not talking, but always aware of the other's presence. It was like a chess match. Han So-hee had arrived nearly an hour earlier than Park Seo Joon. She had glided in solo, gracious but distant, posing for photos with her director and co-stars, but notably avoiding any mention of her male lead during press interactions. She was stunning but also unreadable, a fashion columnist said. You could tell she was keeping something under the surface. #The approach. At 11:42 p.m., security cameras show Park Seo Joon walking toward the private bar section, away from the crowd, nursing a glass of scotch. Han So-hee was already there, alone, arms folded, staring out over the crowd like a soldier before battle. Then he approached her. Not smiling. Not even pretending. They spoke. Her lips moved fast. His responses were curt, clipped. She leaned in slightly, close enough for only him to hear. And then her body tensed. Eyewitnesses described the slap as surgical, ice-cold, and not fueled by rage, but something deeper. It wasn't a messy scene. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She looked directly at him, said something low and sharp, and then, slap. One clean strike. It sounded like someone cracked a whip in the middle of a ballroom. Park Seo Joon staggered half a step back. Not from the force, but from the shock. He touched his cheek with a slow, almost surreal movement, like he couldn't quite believe what had just happened. The guests react. Silence swept across the ballroom like a tsunami. A champagne flute shattered in someone's hand across the room. The DJ fumbled with the next track and froze. A model near the Velvet Lounge dropped her phone in stunned disbelief. People didn't gasp, they held their breath. You could hear ice clinking in a glass 20 feet away, said one stylist. That's how quiet it got. No words, just exit. And then he walked. Park Seo Joon didn't argue. Didn't demand an explanation. Didn't speak to security or look for his manager. He just turned and began moving through the stunned guests like a phantom. Some tried to speak to him. A co-star reached for his arm. He brushed past her. He walked out through the gilded main doors, down the grand marble staircase, and into a waiting black Genesis GV80. Cameras captured the moment. He didn't even look back once. What did Han So-hee say? No microphones were present at the scene, but a professional lip reader working with a Korean entertainment vlogging channel claimed to decipher the exact sentence Han So-hee uttered just before striking Seo Joon. You made me your storyline. Now this is mine. That sentence, if true, is now printed across fan merch, TikTok captions and meme posters. It has become the defining line of the incident. The balcony breakdown. Immediately after the slap, Han So-hee didn't leave. Instead, she walked calmly, almost mechanically, to the wraparound terrace that overlooked the Han River. There, in the darkened August air, she stood still, her hands gripping the railing. A photographer managed to capture her silhouette, one heel off, hair tousled by the breeze, cigarette in hand. Her face was unreadable. Her strength undeniable. She looked like a queen who just burned the throne room herself. Someone at the event posted anonymously on the coup. Flashbacks from the set. Many now speculate that the slap was months in the making, a culmination of buried conflict, betrayal, and maybe even heartbreak. A lighting technician who worked closely on Midnight Mirage described a strange moment during the final week of filming. There was a bedroom scene. Very emotional. As soon as the director yelled cut, she walked away and locked herself in her trailer for 3 hours. He just kept checking his phone. Didn't even go after her. It felt off. Was that the beginning of the end? Industry reactions. The entertainment world is split. Some actors and idols have quietly liked posts supporting Han So-hee, including 2 of Park Seo Joon's former co-stars. Others have expressed discomfort at violence of any kind, regardless of gender or context. A senior producer at SBS weighed in. This will haunt them both. But it might also redefine them. The line between their characters and real selves is now permanently blurred. And audiences, they eat that up. #final glance. At 2:19 a.m., a luxury sedan pulled up in front of Han So-hee's residence in Yongsan. She stepped out alone, clutching her shoes in one hand and her phone in the other. Paparazzi captured the moment. The look on her face wasn't anger. It wasn't sadness. It was peace, the kind that only comes after you've said exactly what needed to be said.